So would you say it's fair to say that most kind of finance teams today, they're not lacking capability, but they're just lacking the connections that sits behind those systems?
Connection is the real key word there because it impacts the connections between people, processes, technology, and information. Without all of those things working together, then finance will sit continually in its silos, unable to move forward from the position they're in today.
Yeah, so with that, would you then say that finance teams are looking backwards? They're trying to piece together data and act upon that data? And how much of a burden do you think that is in terms of manual effort and for exception handling?
Without any doubt, across AR, AP, and cash management, manual processes are in place because the exceptions are driven by what's happened in the past. So yes, they're always looking backwards because they're always dealing with an invoice that was sent out that someone hasn't paid, an invoice they received that they can't pay, or trying to get bank balances across multiple accounts.
Yeah, absolutely. So how important then is it not to just to kind of connect the systems, but to connect the data, connect the cash, and then to kind of then impact their decision making once all of that has been pulled together?
Yeah, and I think AP, AR, and cash management are interdependent levers. If you push too hard on one, then there's an impact on the other. Now, organizations today don't necessarily think about those effects. They tend to operate very much in silos. So from a point of view of getting the data into one place and something that can be used across all those things, recognizing that interdependency exists.
Yeah, so with those silos then, how critical is it to bring in your receivables, your payables, and your cash flow into like a single source of truth?
It's vitally important because they all, as I said, these are interdependent levers. There's like a triangle of cash. Without all of these things working in harmony, you won't have the money to pay the bill.
Forecasting is key to all of this. So would you say that forecasting is improving because of the underlying models, or would forecasting start to improve because of the data that's being brought in to the systems to help businesses manage their cash more effectively?
Once your data is more accurate because you've removed exceptions and you're starting to become much clearer at what your real positions are, then the forecast really works. That's when you start to be able to make decisions that mean you don't have to borrow short-term off the bank, or you can buy FX at a rate that you know you're going to need in 6 weeks rather than a panic today.
So what would you say the main difference would be for a CFO before or after implementing on a change like this?
So they can immediately tangibly measure the difference through the KPIs. Now, those KPIs are the ones that we have been set at the start, they've been following through the process. If they're making sense and they're getting to the levels they're expecting, that tangible difference becomes, I am performing better, I can make better decisions, and my risks are being managed as well. Because right back in that process, we've been sorting out exceptions. We've been making the data better by processing more, by adding more automation into it. So our teams can work on things that are more meaningful. This will make a huge change into the way they operate. So rather than having to make tactical changes all the time and manage their cash tactically, you can start to make strategic decisions because a lot of the hygiene is sorted. This makes a huge difference. Implementing a meaningful AI solution across the office of the CFO can help the organization move from tactical decisions to more strategic ones.
And that's really then going to be the key enabler in order for them to kind of make their processes more efficient, more optimal, and move faster and give them the agility they need to succeed in today's ever-evolving markets.
For a CFO, AI is becoming inevitable. The current macroeconomic conditions, the way that business is moving forward mean that AI adoption is something they have to do. So I've thought about that in a holistic way across AP, AR, and cash management. You can see a business will be able to make much clearer, more tangible decisions that will move it forward.